So we're going to start by looking at these indices questions and simplifying these indices. So recall when we've got a multiplication like this, the first thing we do is deal with the non-index numbers. So in this case the 6 and the 2, the coefficients. 6 times 2 is 12. And then a cubed times a to the 8 is going to be a to the 11. And b squared times b to the 3 is going to be b to the 5. For this one, we do a similar process. First look at the coefficients. 10 divided by 5 is going to be 2. X to the 9 divided by x to the 3 is x to the 6. And y divided by y to the 7 is y to the minus 6. Or perhaps we're going to write that as 2x to the 6 over y to the 6. Expanding brackets with powers, we use what we get when we multiply these. So 5 times 1 is 5, x to the half times x to the minus the half is x to the 0. And then 5 times 2 is going to be negative 10. X to the half times x to the 3 over 2 is x to the 4 over 2, which is x squared. And we can simplify this 5x to the 0 because x to the 0 is going to be 1. So we get 5 minus 10x squared. In this one we have a surd, but to deal with things like this, the first thing we're going to do is write it as an index, as a power. This is 9 to the power of 16x squared to the power of 1/2, because that means square root. Now we can use laws of indices to simplify this. This is going to be 8x squared. So 9 to the power of 8x squared, when we multiply this power by this power. And this final one is a little bit more involved. And what we notice is that these numbers, 16, 4, 2 and 8, are all powers of 2. So the first thing we're going to do is write them as powers of 2. So 2 to the power of 4 is the power of x plus 1, plus 20 times 2 squared to the power of 2x over, well, nothing changing here, 2 to the x minus 3 times, and 8 is 2 cubed to the x plus 2. Now using laws of indices on those 4 expressions, we get 2 to the power of 4x plus 4 plus 20 times 2 to the power of 4x over, and then on the bottom here I'm going to do 2 steps in one. This is going to give us 2 to the 3x plus 6, and then we're going to have to add those two bits together. So we get 2 to the x plus the 3x, so that's going to be 4x, and minus 3 plus the 6, so that's going to be plus 3. Now the thing to notice here is that all 3 of these expressions have 2 to the 4x within them, and we can split this up into 2 to the 4x times 2 to the 4 plus 2 to the 4x times 20 over 2 to the 4x times 2 cubed. But they all simplify because we have 2 to the 4x, 2 to the 4x, and 2 to the 4x. We factorize out that 2 to the 4x in the top. All those 2 to the 4x's are going to cancel, so we get left with 2 to the 4 plus 20 over 2 cubed. That's 16 plus 20, so 36 over 2 cubed, which is 8, which simplifies down to 9 over 2. The last part of this is writing down the laws of indices. The first one would be a to the power of m times a to the power of n is equal to a to the power of m plus n. a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n is equal to a to the m minus n. And we have a to the power of m to the power of n is equal to a to the mn. Those are our three laws, but we also have things like a to the power of 0 is equal to 1, which we used here. We also have things like a to the power of negative n is equal to 1 over a to the power of n, which we used here. And a to the power of 1 over n is equal to the nth root of a, which we used here. So those are our 6 key facts, our laws of indices, that we're going to refer back to in a few moments.